Number 5. The Mapping of Ireland. This modest portrait is of Thomas Larkin, and you could say that he was responsible for producing the first detailed map of Ireland in the 19th century. Larkin was an English military surveyor, dynamic and talented, and he came to Ireland in 1826 at the age of just 25 as part of the British Army team that was starting its Ordnance survey of the country. The Ordnance Survey of Ireland was a massive military mapping of everything on the ground. It started in the north in the 1820s, and it spent the next 20 years moving slowly throughout the island, mapping and recording absolutely everything, every road, every building, every field. And at its peak, there were over 2,000 men working on it. The result was nearly 2,000 maps, at a very detailed scale of 6 inches to the mile, and the Academy's library has one of the original sets of these maps. Thomas Larkin was initially in charge of engraving the maps, but he soon took over the whole survey. He even learned Irish so that he could understand the place names. Perhaps the most important thing he did was to recruit some of the finest scholars of the day, so that the survey could also record place names and archaeological features. And the result was an amazingly detailed description of the country. The 3 best-known scholars that Larkin employed were Eugene O'Connor, John O'Donovan and George Petrie, and all 3 were members of the Royal Irish Academy. We'll hear more about George Petrie in our next stop, but the other 2 men, Eugene O'Curry and John O'Donovan, were brothers-in-law, Irish language scholars who had made a special study of the old manuscripts and also the Annals of the Four Masters and the ancient Brehon laws. John O'Donovan travelled the length and breadth of Ireland for the survey, and his letters are a fascinating contribution to our understanding of the time. He later became the first professor of Celtic languages at Queen's University in Belfast, when the college opened in 1849. After that first Ordnance Survey of Ireland ended in 1846, Thomas Larkin moved to become a deputy director of the Board of Works, and later he took on a political appointment as Under-Secretary for Ireland. The Ordnance Survey of Ireland is still our national mapping agency, and it's still in its original home in Dublin's Phoenix Park. And all of the historical maps that Larkin's survey produced are now online at the survey's website, osi.ie. Next is George Petrie. He's the father of Irish archaeology, and he is the man portrayed in the painting above the fireplace.